Okay, so today, continue working on the M5. And we're gonna do the window regulator, the front window regulator. This thing's been broken ever since I got the car. It's not very common for those to go out on these cars. There's a bee in here. I see him. I'll get him here. I'll get him here in a second. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. I got the new regulator's been here for like 3 months. Probably to make sure it's the right one before I take anything apart. This unhooked the battery, got some lights set up. We got our e-Torx sockets. We have our regular Torx. We have a pry bar. We need to get a 10 mil on the little impact and I think a pair of cutters, and we should be pretty much ready. We might have to get a 10 mil wrench. Yeah, we will. And we're gonna jump into it. Okay, we'll keep the fly swatter close by for the old would bee, the carpenter bee. Seem to have quite the influx in them lately. But we're thinning the herd, boys. I killed almost 30 of them in the last 2 days. But we still got a couple. So we're gonna keep on buzzing, buddy. We'll see what happens to you. We'll see how that works out for you. First things first, I'll pop that out. There's gonna be a Torx behind there. I can't see, it looks like it's missing. Possibly is. And there's also a Phillips. Somebody's already been in here. Let me get a Phillips. All right, our would-be just had a horrifying accident. And he won't be okay. I got our chair here because I'm old. And somebody's got the screw out of that. Sweet. We got our Phillips screw right here. I looked right at the LED light. I can't see anything. Usually there's a cap over it, but you know how we roll. Somebody's already been in here. Can't buy nothing. And that's just been completely and totally just massacred. All right. Pop all the clips. I can already tell you right now, some of those broke. And this one is a little bit different. We're gonna have some clips at the top along here, so we're just gonna pull like that. Well, I mean, that's not really what we're going for, but whatever works, right? See, while we unhook the battery, because the airbag, oh, what the hell? Damn people. Somebody's just hacked all the foam out from behind there. Unplug this guy. Damn, man. Just a push latch on there. So we can't snap the airbag into. Kind of funky, like somebody kind of messed it up. Look how rusty that airbag is on that CO2 thing. I'm just looking while we're in here, looking at everything, because chances are there'll be something else messed up. Whoa there, buddy. Was that hooked on here? I believe it was. That's one way to get it off. Now, squeeze that, pull that off like so. We have our one on the bottom. Got some mold in here. That's what happens when you don't freaking put that back in. So we should order one of these foam deals, and we probably will, because I know that could let water in the car. And what happens, well, they let the bottom sealed, okay? But usually what happens if you unseal the bottom, it runs down to the door panel, it runs over the lip into the floor. E60 isn't near as bad about that, but you still gotta watch out. If we're lucky, let me get another light, let me get a pair of cutters. We're gonna cut these 2 zip ties, holding the wires to there, and we're gonna reposition this light. So basically there's 3 bolts holding the regulator in. We'll see if we get them out without taking a bunch of this other crap out. We gotta take this loose and that'll come off of there. We gotta unplug. Unplug that. Hopefully the motor's good. The motor runs fine, so it should be. So let's grab a couple more things here. Okay, let's go in here, snip this. We'll just replace those, easy enough. Put that over here, make this little pile. Next up is this. Take that zip tie out of there. Then we have essentially a bolt. We have a 10 right there. We have a 10 right there. We use a ratchet wrench. And where was it at? Somewhere up here. See, somebody's had all this apart before. Like all of it. Right there is another E-Torx. Was there another one here or not? Yes. Right there. So those are the ones that are actually pinching the window. Right? So what we're gonna want to do here, ordinarily we'd run the window down, but in this case we can't because the window doesn't go down. So there is that. Let's just start zipping this up apart and see if we get it loosened up enough. Now we could take, watch that crap, it's awful sticky. We could take these out. It's like somebody's already had that out at some point and loosen it up, but we're probably gonna have to try to dissect this totally out of here. What we're gonna wanna do, we're gonna pull the glass totally out. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to remove that inside strip to let us do that. And I don't remember if that's gonna be a problem or not. It very well could be. Just see how it goes here. If the glass will stay up in its current position, we could probably just fish it right out. But I think we're gonna have a bolt at some point behind that glass. I think is what our problem is gonna be. And it's gonna be right there. So, yeah, there is that. I wonder if I could force that down in some way or shape or another. Those were E12s. Let's leave that kind of loose like so. We take that all the way, we take this one all the way out, we might be able to fish it out, fish the window down. Let's see if it'll let us do that. I think it will go down like an inch. Might have to hook the battery back up. And that inch might be enough to let us just slip that by. So let's see. Okay, so instead of hooking the battery back up, I just took these bottom 2 bolts out, so we're getting loose. Let's go and, I think all the bolt holding the motor in go this way. That should let us slip it down just a little bit, maybe. I mean, like, you know, very much so maybe. Those are a T30. Let's just try this. We gotta take it apart anyway. Be careful because those are real shallow head bolts. And that's all 3 of them's out. There's the motor. We're gonna save the motor. The gear all looks good. And now since the motor is unhooked, yeah, you don't say. You would think that that would let you slip that down. You'd think a lot of stuff, but apparently not. So we can't pull that little spool out of there and just release it. Like usually it's real easy, but this situation, since it's no worky, is a lot different. What we're trying to do is just release the cable. Look how mangled that is up in there. This all chewed up. That's usually what happens. Let's try to just pop this out by making a big ass mess on the floor. There you go. I mean, that probably should still work, right? How's it get that bad, you say? Well, I suspect years of just trying to use her anyway. All right? I have to say, that's probably the worst one I've ever freaking seen. So now that we're all loose, let's see now. There we go. Push that down. And that should give us enough slop to get off there like that. So we're out of the holder. Those things are still stuck on. And then let's see. See if we could just go ahead and shatter it real quick. Get off of there, you have her. Let's go and try to snake this out of there. I'm gonna take it with or without the clips. Let's see, we're gonna have all this crap in the way. I hate to even do that. Hate to even do it. But I don't think no matter what we do, we're gonna get around that. What we don't want to do is damage anything. There we go. Just what we wanted. The least invasive thing. Now we could just pull the window out. Maybe. Let's just lay this. Usually you lay it up here on the sunroof. Just like so. If nobody gets crazy with it, it should be fine. So our new regulator should come with all this hardware. Just in case it don't throw it away. That's another eTorx. Grab all your bolts. Got another wire tangled up in there too. Wire clipped on there. Everything's all caught up in that frayed out wire. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So there we are, all gutted out. Ready to go back in. Let's go. So here's our new one. Not the highest quality, but you know, it's kind of all you could get easily. I think this is about 30 bucks. Put a link in the description for this bad boy. So before we even start any of this, let's grab our motor. Let's put our motor on. And then that's these real coarse screws. Like I said, if your regulator still functions a little bit, do it then. It's gonna make your life a lot easier when you replace it. Instead of just wait until it just freaking won't move. See? The problem is, need another hand. When you run these in, don't freaking overdo it. Just snug them up. It's like that. There we go. Make sure it's all sitting around the back. And let's fish her in. We got the bolts here, go to the bottom. Our holes go to the top for those eTorx. And we'll have to loosen those up a little bit, but That's fine with me. So we're gonna go under something like this. Remember, the motor goes on the right side. So let's just fish it in like so. There we go. Let's go hook the bottom in first. There you have her. And let's just start one of these bolts. Let me get an extension because we're gonna have to use extension to start these. All right, so these are E12. This is our extension, the socket only. Gonna hook that bottom one in. We're gonna put this back up here to the top. Can't really see nothing. There we are. We're not going to tighten that down just yet. We're going to go to the other side over here. The same thing. Over there you have it. Clip the wire back on. Get in there. Drop that right there. Get our other E-Torques. Line that bad boy up there. There it is. Now there's no adjustments on these tops. We'll probably just go ahead and snug them up. Now, while doing E39s, it's like a different deal. On E39s, I like to do those. It's the same kind of setup, but I'll put the window all back together and take that back on top. We do tighten the top ones on E39. We'll roll the window all the way up, then tighten the very bottom screws down here, because it seems like on those, if you don't do that, it's like out of whack, right? It's not straightened. So this might be the same way on here. We might run into a little situation with the airbag. I'm gonna try to plug that in temporarily, hook the battery up, and then finish it all off. But we'll see. So let's go ahead and snap all the wires back in place here. Like that. We've already messed up because we didn't catch that in the groove. So let's go ahead and just loosen this up real quick. Hands getting all sweaty. There we go. All right, there's that. It's all locked in there. It's all locked in there. Cannot forget to put at least one zip tie, or two, probably just go and put both of them on there around that to hold that wire. You don't want that wire getting in the window. If you roll it up and down, up and down, up and down, what's gonna happen? It's gonna wear that coating on that wire. So let's go ahead and get a ratchet wrench. Let's loosen up the clamps. We'll leave those bottom ones just like they are for the time being. Okay, let's grab our window. Let's push that back down through there. We don't need that on there anymore. We're gonna hook that back into the groove. We're gonna make sure we're in the felt all the way down. That one's done. This one's gonna be a little bit of a pain. That one's done. These freaking gloves gotta go. Can't deal with that anymore. Hands are all sweaty. Gross. All right, so that's all stacked in there correctly. Like I said, we're gonna go with our instinct here and not tighten those up just yet. Let's go ahead and, we can still reach it with these when the window's all the way up. Let's do this. I'm gonna lose that. Let's bring this over here. I'll set this on the floor and see if we can make that reach, but it looks like it's probably not gonna reach. If we hook the battery up, we're gonna have to reset it with ISTA, which sounds about as fun as getting kicked in the nuts. Well, I mean, it's probably not that big a deal, but still. Okay, so there's that. I think that'll sit just like that. So let's go hook this back up. I said be careful not to unplug that. So we're just going here with a wrench. And everything's 10. So let's run before we do anything. Okay, so that's all the way up. Let's go ahead and pull the switch on this. Probably pissing off the body module by doing that. Turn that off. Let's take this back here. Jesus. Jesus. Because chances are you're going to have to do this unless you have a pretty good scanner or ISTA. And your average guy is probably not going to have either one of those. So we'll do it like you would have to do it, right? There we go. Don't be falling down there now. Okay, so everything's up. Let's go ahead and tighten up the bottom bolts on this, on the regulator. Okay, then let's go in with this. I think those are regular, yep. Well, a little bit of this. Let's tighten up the clamps, but not too tight, but tight enough. Because not tight enough in some cold weather, if the window gets hard to pull down, it'll pull it out of the holder. Now, in theory, that's what breaks all these, is when you get ice on your window, go to roll the window down. If you tighten up tight, but not overly aggressive tight, if it gets stuck, it should pull the window out of the regulator instead of breaking the regulator, in theory, right? And before we go any further, tighten that up. That's all done. I think we're tight enough on these. Now, everything should function correctly at this point, but we're gonna have to make 110% sure that's gonna be the case, right? We're gonna have to probably roll the window down and put this back in. And once that's down, we can snap it right in the top. I think it's gonna be too tight of a fit to put it in like that, if you know what I mean. So let's go back. Let's zip tie this first, plug the airbag back in, get the door panel up here, and then plug everything back in. You can probably plug it all back in, sit up there a little bit. It's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass though. Oh, you gotta love that. So in theory, I think what we're gonna have to do all right, before we do that, we're gonna have to do this. So let's go ahead and hook this back up. I need to. So again. Hook that all back up. I think we're all good. Let's see if this will dangle or sit on something. Go, grab this. All right, let's function the window. Good to go. Put her back down and see if we can get this mess back in there. Got it. Function again. Perfect. Let's turn that off. All right, then let's make sure we got our handle in here right. Since it rocketed off of there, I didn't see how it went in, but now I see. Just like that. Hook that back in like so. You're lined up. Oh. Goes like that. Is that too far or is that not enough? That's too far. I think it is. Let's look at this other side and see. It is the same way. That's the way it's made, I guess. I was gonna line it up, but apparently it is what it is. Clips are all broke. Okay, so let's put the Phillips screw back in. We're gonna have to go looking for another one because it wasn't there. Okay, and this guy here, he's not really that big. Let's go look. All right, so we stuck another torque screw in there. Put that back on there. Now, we're still gonna have to try to find the inner foam cover probably. More than likely, that's gonna be a problem down the road. There's something else too, but I can't remember. Let's go ahead and function it one more time. Everything sounds good, looks good. There you go. So it definitely wasn't glorious. It's a little bit on the rough side, getting her done. Somebody's treated her pretty bad. So we're just gonna get all the tools cleaned up. We're gonna wipe that window down. This thing should be finished. All right, the GoPro's pretty much dead. Got 3% left. I think we're done. Got the window all cleaned up, everything's done. We're gonna go and start it up and make sure we didn't cause any kind of havoc. Because, as we all know, the M5 is kind of sensitive. That's kind of an understatement, to be honest.